Jesus James Angleton, the way you spin that story round. Always sharp, just like a tack when you're tracking the price of the dollar and pound. But drop the narrative, that thing that you inherited. Your history homos chariot just pulled up outside. Scott, William, Patrick on the scene, they're breaking up the subroutine. Something's crackling in your brain, MK Ultra make you go insane. Hey, don't you know we're only on the case for a good time, baby? Took a Rhodes pill, now I'm reading these books for a long time, baby. Honey pots and psyop traps, you can trust the plan until you snap. Slop conspiracy everywhere. History homos clear the air. Close your eyes, what's truth or lie? Hiding in the space between. Reality's a tangled scene. Tune in, you'll know what I mean. Close your eyes, what's truth or lie? Hiding in the space between. Reality's a tangled scene. Tune in, you'll know what I mean. Hey, history homos only on the case for a good time, baby. Took a Rhodes pill, now I'm reading these books for a long time, baby.
And we're live. Welcome back to the show. Joining Patrick and me this week is fan favorite, frequently requested return guest, Mr. JB Beverley. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, homos.
Woo, he's back. And he's
Yes,
My
welcome
first time
back.
with Patrick, so we get to see how we riff.
Oh,
I think you guys will enjoy each other.
Scott's trying to
Sounds
keep
really
us.
gay.
Scott's trying to keep us from riffing to like the fullest extent, because we would just talk about tobacco for 6 weeks here. But
Probably.
we've got bigger fish to fry, fillets of
Yes.
fish to fry.
Bigger leviathans to fry.
Yeah, bigger.
Bigger
Yeah,
gefilte
leviathans.
Bigger filters to try. So, okay, JB had broached this idea to me some time ago. We've been trying to make this episode happen, but he had to move and stuff, so we had to push it back. But finally we're getting to this. So this is a topic we've been wanting to do for a long time. And by the way, I do want to just say right out the gate, I'm so happy that I read like that Makers of the Modern Mind book a while back with
I
Monica,
bet. Yeah.
because it helped me like wrap my head around all this theology stuff, honestly. um
Thanks, Monica. It's very
yes, thank you
helpful.
again to Monica Perez. But
It's a good
so
book.
this week we're discussing the history and theology around premillennial dispensationalism and the geopolitical implications.
Implications.
Yeah, the
Not to.
implication is that you're subservient to Israel.
Oh, that implication. Oh, I thought it was something worse.
Yeah, not can't be much worse than that. But
Yeah, dispensationalism, emphasis
JB, I
on.
know you're from Virginia originally. Were there a lot of evangelicals where you grew up, or was it mostly liberals from Washington D.C.?
Well, depends, man. Out there near where my dad's family is all from in the mountains, it was a lot more, rural and
Right.
you would see there was some dispensational, but a lot of, I mean, I grew up in a high church, kind of old school Presbyterian. There was no emphasis on Israel, and like if your tie was crooked, the pastor, the reverend would raise his eyebrow and give you the polite nod to straighten your tie. And then my mom's family is all Eastern European, so she was Orthodox, and so I kind of got the best of both worlds. I got the high church Protestant and the
Yeah.
based fucking Eastern Orthodox,
You
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
worse. You
Could have done a lot worse.
legitimately, yeah.
Yeah.
I found
That's
this
God
out
bless you.
today, but the ADL, the Presbyterian Church, is the only church that the ADL has singled out as being potentially anti-Semitic.
Well, yeah,
Give it
because
up.
they're one of the only large branches of Protestant, post Calvinist Christianity
Yeah.
that sides with the Orthodox Church and is like, fuck you, you're not changing anything. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Well, also
Specifically,
too,
they.
they've got to, you got to remember too, man. It was the Presbyterians that really pushed in Scotland to intellectually understand biblical history, and they know the difference between Israel and the Bible and a and
Mhm,
Right.
a fucking apartheid ethno state in the Middle East. I mean, they're
mhm,
if anybody was going to know the difference outside of Orthodoxy or old school Catholics, even it would be the Presbyterians for sure.
mhm.
Right. So let's just define what the meaning of the term is. So let's in your traditional mainline well, or I should say Orthodoxy, Catholicism, or any of the mainline Protestant denominations, there is something known as it's what is known as covenant theology. This is like your basic the idea that the Old Testament Israelites, the covenant was transferred to everyone in creation at the time of Christ's resurrection, and it's not just isolated for just the literal descendants of Abraham. Which, by the
Mhm.
way, the people who call themselves Jews today are not that. That's another
No,
conversation.
they're
I,
not.
I don't I don't think Moses had blonde hair.
Yeah, I don't think they're Jews. But irrespective of that, there the so but that's basically the mainstream Christian theology, which was, by the way, that is throughout Christian history far and away is the understanding of the covenant given between the nation of Israel, which in the mainstream Christian, the faithful
Uh-oh.
of Jesus, are the people who are now the Israelites essentially, and they are bestowed all of the stuff that God promised to them. And however, in the early to mid 1800s, which is a time known as the Second Great Awakening, um, there was I think this is the thing that I found really interesting. The ideas of like John Locke, Adam Smith, and like old came to sort of
Got it.
seep
Scott,
into.
Scott, Scott, you're
Yeah,
breaking
what's
up
up?
every 5 seconds.
This is
Yeah,
fucking.
damn.
I'm plugged in.
I did catch you talking. I did catch that reference to Old Man Kant.
Old man
Yeah,
Kant. Yeah. Well, okay. Am I back now?
Back
we're
now.
we're back, baby.
You were
Okay.
freezing up like every 5 seconds. You might want to back that up a
We
little
thought
bit.
you got raptured, bud.
Well, I don't think I qualify.
Uh,
Um,
Good one. Good one.
well, either way, for what it's worth, the
Pick up
podcast
from John
listeners will
Locke.
be actually be able to hear everything I said perfectly because it's
G-
recorded locally.
They are
Um,
the truly enlightened. We're just here for the
truly.
ride.
True. Okay, well,
Um,
let me back it up just a couple seconds here.
from
And I was
John
just gonna
Locke, if
say,
you could,
I
if
was gonna
that's
say, yeah.
okay,
So
JB.
at this time period in the mainline Protestant, which is by the way far and away the majority of people in America at that time, I should say, by the way, Catholics, Orthodox, or marginal groups at the time outside of places like Boston and New York.
Hmm.
Um, and the okay, but anyway, so but in the mainline Protestant churches, the ideas of John Locke and old man Kant started sort of entering the Enlightenment, sort of influence started to begin to influence the mainline Protestant churches, and there became this more emphasis on like your actions as a person in the world being reflective of your like your religious fervor or whatever. Which is what
Particularly
led to
your
like
work ethic.
which led to that too. But I was gonna say also led to shit like prohibition, by the way. Um, but or temperance, I guess would be the right term. But either way, so there was, however, though there was a reactionary movement against this, and that sort of thing resulted in like the tent revival, snake handling type shit. It resulted in Mormonism, notably, is one of the major
Wine
outcroppings of this.
drinking.
True, true. But what's it called? And then, but also the other one of the other major things was the movement that is known as premillennial dispensationalism, which is primarily crystallized by a guy named James Nelson Darby or John Nelson Darby, I
God,
think.
Nelson Dark.
Yeah. And he is
I'm a
a
patsy. I'm a patsy.
yeah,
These three name guys, I can't. As soon as
that's
you
true.
think your middle name's worth a damn, I'm on your ass. Sorry, go ahead.
That or
Well,
you're a serial killer.
I do have a question about the name because if I'm not mistaken, this guy's British. I think he's an Anglo-Irish, which means he's Brit English, by the way.
Oh shit. It's an
He
anagram for dumbass. Sorry. All right.
but I was gonna say though, the his name is Darby, Darby.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, in England they pronounce Derby, Darby, right? So why is his name Darby?
Ellis Island.
Uh, uh, uh,
Ellis Shire, I guess it would be
Elvis
in
Island.
Elvis Island. Hey, mama.
Epstein Island.
Hey, little mama. Meander yourself right over yonder.
Uh, Start a little circle over here, mama. Yeah, anyway, but yeah,
Feel
so
the temperature
this
rising.
guy though, John Nelson Darby, comes up with this idea, which is the idea. So okay, in Revelations, actually, it's not in Revelations, if I'm not mistaken, but there's throughout the
Thessalonians.
Thessalonians. Well, that's
There's a
the
few.
rapture part.
Yeah.
That's the rapture part. Yeah, but so there's this idea that in throughout, I think the New Testament, there's this idea that there'll be a millennial kingdom of like
Hmm.
basically heaven on earth when end times come,
Yeah.
essentially. Or actually no, wait, actually, I think the actual mainstream Catholic view is that we're currently living within the 1,000 years, and it is to refer to the fact that we're living in the era that the church is in existence. Correct?
Yes, I would. Yes, that is mainline Catholic and I believe Orthodox
It is. Yeah, they're the same
understanding
on
of.
that.
Although, are we now? That's to
Well, it
say,
isn't that I was speaking to a Catholic, very strongly Catholic associate of mine, and he told me that when they say 1,000 years, it's not literally 1,000 years. It just means a
exactly.
really, really, really long time.
Yes, yeah, that is true, and yeah, not
No,
every number is to be
actually,
taken
there's a
literally.
tie to that in the Old Testament.
Hmm.
When they say God created the earth and heavens and the earth in 7 days, it
Sure.
also says that one day to God is 1,000 years to man.
There you go.
So
Which is
that
that's a really, really long time. Yeah, it's 7,000 years. Yeah, okay.
Take a seat, folks. It's gonna be a minute. So when the millennial reign of Christ and his return is mentioned, whose millennia are we talking here, man?
Yeah.
I hope it's God's
Well,
millennia.
that's what I think that's where the rubber hits the road with the dispensationalists because it's like, oh no, it's quite literal, 1,000 years.
Yeah, not a penny more, not a penny less. Which I mean, we're already. So what? That would mean we're in some sort of decline,
Well,
right?
yeah, that is actually a good way to put it because the part of the theology sort of centers around this idea that each section of the Bible and history itself um are called dispensations.
Hmm.
And we're currently in the
Supposedly
dispen
7, right? Total,
seven total. Well,
according
yeah,
to
I mean it's got to be seven,
the.
obviously. It's either going to be 7 or 33.
Look at the big brain on Patrick.
I've been practicing one. I can count up to
He's been
12
using his
now.
fingers. If you take away the fingers, and he has some problems. But
Listen, all right.
okay. So
That's what my
yes,
toes are
there
for.
are seven. There are seven. The first one is like the fall of man, like literally Adam and Eve fucking up in the garden.
It was a team effort.
True.
All right.
He was
True
he
that.
was the original sellout.
True.
Sold out his
The
divinity for a piece
original
of
simp.
hell.
Yeah.
The original simp, dude.
Sold
Yeah.
out his
Well,
divinity
he.
for a piece of hell.
How many times do they have to teach you the lesson don't simp in the Bible? You got Adam and Eve, you got Samson and Delilah. You got I mean those are the only two that actually I think. But oh no, not true. There's what's her name? Jezebel and fucking Rehoboam maybe is his name. I can't remember. But whoever her
Okay.
husband was, there's a three. At least there's a fucking a trinity of them.
I have another.
Yeah.
Peter's third denial.
Oh, because of a
Um.
chick, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like she's like, you have that weird accent, and he's like, oh no, no, I don't. I don't know that guy. Come on, man. Um. Yeah. Well, I think Adam's real sin was not saying, "Oh yeah, I shouldn't have left her alone."
Well, then
Yeah.
here you go. Here
It-
you go. Here's the ultimate argument for don't simp. Joseph, Jesus's earthly father,
Yeah.
he didn't tap that before. You know what I'm saying? He held out, and they got rewarded
True.
with the Son of God, man. So like,
True. And he got, I mean, if you, depending on which, I know Catholics don't like this, but he did clearly have other kids with Mary afterwards. Like,
yeah,
he had a brother who like supposedly
James,
was like one of the early church
James,
fathers.
James.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Jaime,
mean, it's like
if
he
you
didn't
will.
even really. I mean, that's a small. It's not like he got closed off from the. I know I'm talking about the Mother of God here. I probably should stop, but
It's the Theotokos, man. Come on.
Well, I mean, as long as you
On
don't
it's
today
score,
of all
still
days.
as
Joseph's
long as you
wife,
don't
man.
score
It's still
Sazy
Joseph's
this up,
wife.
Sorry, JB, go ahead one more
I
time.
just said whatever you do, don't score Sazy this up. But
Yeah, no, no. That's something I get pissed off just thinking about, like remembering The Last Temptation of Christ was a
yeah,
movie. And Harvey Keitel, God love him, not even thinking to change his accent.
yeah, it's like Kevin Costner and Robin Hood.
Yeah. Show me how you crucify a guy.
This
You're
guy
gonna
over
be
here,
okay.
Say the goddamn words. Say the you damn words.
that was good.
Funny shit. But wait, all right, let's stay on track here.
Yeah.
Good
we're-
luck on this show, pal. I know you're new.
I think we're getting
JB's
better with it. I think we're getting better with it.
where were we, in fact, before
Well, I
we
was just going to say,
started?
where I'm sort of explaining dispensation theology. So basically, okay, so there's these multiple dispensations. So the first one is the fall of man, and then after that, it's like when
The
the Israelites
antediluvian
fucked up.
period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. They fuck up and they had sex with the Nephilim. So then they got punished with that. So that's the second dispensation. The third one is I guess it would be the no
The
that's okay.
exile.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've the Mosaic part, but
Mhm.
the part where basically though I don't know how. Oh, they fucked up because they started worshiping other gods, and he dispatched the tablets, right? Okay, I'm not trying to keep numbers on this, but the point is they all have corresponding with ending with them fucking up badly, essentially, And in the one before the Jesus one is the Jews fucked up badly because they didn't accept Jesus when he resurrected. There you go. Not too hard to grasp, right? So
Yeah.
we're living in the next dispensation currently, hence that occurring.
Hmm. Yeah.
And now the thing is that so they disregard the covenant theology and they say no, the covenant made between God and us is different than the one that they gave to the Jews, and they are a distinct entity in which we should pay attention to at all times.
I mean, we should pay attention to them at all
You
times.
don't take your eyes off them.
The
I
way
was
you
gonna
keep
say, yeah.
the way you keep an eye on a spider, so while you run to get a paper towel. But uh, the idea of there is all the way between dispensationalists all the way to Presbyterians who they're not suffering any of this foolishness. There's a disagreement between was this always the same covenant? Is this a new covenant?
Right.
Is this are there two separate concurrent
Yeah,
covenants?
I think that is the dispensational view, is that there's separate concurrent covenants. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Wrong.
real quick, the Bible is so crystal clear about that's
Yeah.
that's a fallacy.
I know.
I mean, if
Did
you're going to
somebody say
accept the scripture,
crystals? Sorry.
no, but it's
Now you're
just like
talking my language.
it's no. I mean, if these, but that's part of the problem. It's all the dispensational branches of Christianity that anoint pastoralship. You want to be a priest in the Orthodox or Catholic Church, you got to go to seminary school.
Yeah.
You want to be a Presbyterian reverend, you got to go to seminary school. You want any church, that actually has a biblical understanding and a historical concept. They all put a heavy emphasis on education and reading the writings of the church fathers and understanding the history. It's the dispensationals that are like, I went to bed Friday evening after I got home from the strip club, brothers and sisters, and I woke up with a massive cum stain in my britches. And God put his hand on my shoulder and says, "You're done with this life. You're going to go to the church on Sunday and preach the word. And now here I am to tell you why. If you don't send your money to Israel, you're going to burn in hell." That's where that shit comes from.
Hallelujah.
Oh, and by the way, it's in a strip mall.
Well, I mean, it's as close to the
But I mean,
strip club
so you
as
got to
possible.
figure what my point is. What else do you expect?
Yeah.
Air quote Christians who anoint, where pastors can say they were just touched by the hand of God and they're here to preach the gospel. No seminary training, no biblical history, no church fathers.
Well,
no investment. It's just like all you got to do is. It's almost like it's. Nah, never mind. That'd be pushing.
No,
well, I will say this though, as I think you
I
sort
almost
of
did it, man. I almost went there. I
you
want to
zoomed
keep the
in.
show on
You
the
zoomed
air.
in a little bit though, but on something important though, which is the idea that the education aspect that is sort of inherent to the other branches of Christianity is what they were reacting against when they created this movement, essentially. And it was supposed to be something you just the lay person could then pick up and be like, well, I'm as knowledgeable. It's what Nietzsche actually calls it, smug ease, because he looks back to make you go look back on the church fathers of the Catholic Church and and all the original followers of Christ and go, I know just as much about this religion as they do because I read the book.
Yeah.
But exactly, and to that point, if I may, there was a method to the madness. I this is my opinion, but I wasn't there, of course. But I think that you got to remember too, man. In the time of Jesus, it was all an oral tradition anyway. I mean, very few people wrote in those days, right?
Yeah.
So all the Gospels were written 200-300 years after Christ died, right? So you figure, the dispensationalists were smart. How do you cuck the poor, the disenfranchised, and those who you're not going to send some well-read pastor that spent 8 years in seminary to some fucking Baptist church in fucking Texas or the foothills of West Virginia or the armpit of fucking New Hampshire, right? Where do you send these people? What you allow them to take that dispensational thing. That way cousin Cletus and brother Brentwood, can say I was anointed by the Lord, and here I am. You know what I'm saying? They it's a way to get their message, to get that Scofield Darby message into the poor, to where even they're empty in their pockets. They ain't got a fucking dime. They ain't got two nickels rubbed together, but they're going to be scared to death of that rapture, and scared to death if they don't support Israel. And because that's the thing. A learned biblical scholar, not that person wouldn't go pastor amongst the poor. Many of them would. But the Scofield, the dispensationalists, they knew. They're like, man, if we can just fucking flood the market, and we get, and we're willing to just let any Tom, Dick, and Harry stand up and say, I was touched by God, and let them just run a church, as long as they got our study Bible, they're going to be good Shabbos goys. You know what I'm saying?
If I may,
yeah.
If I may, interject. Now, I don't disagree with anything you just said, JB, but let's talk about.
You're more than welcome to.
No, I couldn't if I tried. Like, if we're talking before the introduction of the state of Israel as we know it today, before any kind of allegiances were being asked of these people, on that kind of level, it just appeals to poor, disenfranchised people that they have nothing to worry about. Your kids will be okay, because you're all gonna go.
You're all gonna get sucked up into heaven, quite literally, because you picked the right brand of mini mall to go to.
Yeah, you picked the right schlub to.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing too. No, find any mention of this rapture in the scripture.
There's very, very thin justification for it.
But no, I'm saying find it as they define it.
Oh, absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely theoretical.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Every man a priest.
Let's true. There we go, Luther. But no, but let's zoom in on that for real quick. Patrick mentioned Thessalonians. I guess the context are the lines of which the
anti-gravity elements of this.
There's this idea that I didn't really explain the whole premillennial thing. So the idea is there's going to be 1,000 exact 365.25 day years in which Jesus is quite literally God on earth, not metaphorically like he's our God because he's the God of the world, but
Jesus
quite
is
literally
president.
he's like the government. By the way to ruin God for me is make him the government.
I'm trying to make government cool.
Is this the second coming or the Fourth Reich? To quote my late friend Peter. Go ahead.
Rest in peace, Peter.
What's it called? And then so 1,000 years, and then after that, because they say Satan will be in captivity for 1,000 years, then Jesus will finish off Satan, and then I don't really know. It gets really nebulous at that point, I think, is what happens.
Then
they take an intermission.
The scripture's very clear: no man knoweth the hour. And these motherfuckers got it down to the nanosecond.
They got it to the day.
Well, I don't. That's funny you mentioned that. Today is, by the way, I didn't know this. Patrick told me. I had no idea, but it's Rosh Hashanah today.
I told
you that last week when we confirmed. Remember when I put it in my calendar? I said, "Oh, it's Rosh Hashanah."
Yo, that's right. You did say something. Yeah,
darker yet, JB. Not you just reminded him it's Rosh Hashanah. But what else is it, Scott?
Apparently, a bunch of dumbasses online think today's the rapture.
Today and tomorrow.
I better go put on my girdle.
Yeah, I know.
Don't bother.
I gotta put on my flying hat. I gotta put on my pinwheel hat because otherwise I won't hear when I go up in the sky.
Should I bring a poncho? Because I imagine it's humid up there.
So it's more complicated than that. So the idea is that at the time of there'll be signs of the times, in which
Revelation says that, but yeah.
Yeah, well that's true. But there'll be signs of the times which they interpret to be like the Third Reich is crushed. Like that's what they consider to be a sign of the times. Regardless. The
Third Reich was just reemployed. What do you mean?
Right.
Yeah. Subverted. Yeah, exactly.
But what's it called? But at the time of there'll be something called the rapture, in which all of the faithful will quite literally be sucked up into the sky because of a line in Thessalonians, where Paul says to the Thessalonians, all all those who have perished will go up to the sky, or maybe all the saints will go up in the sky to meet God as he returns. But basically, the context in which Paul is writing to the Thessalonians is the Thessalonians are like, oh, we're scared that we're not going to see the second coming, and more importantly, the people who have already died while waiting for the second coming
Mm-hmm.
are going to miss it or whatever. And Paul establishes within the doctrine of the church that don't worry, you're going to all come back to life when it happens. And also, so nobody's going to miss it. Basically,
Yeah.
like don't.
Yeah, don't sweat it. Worry not.
Yeah.
And for reference, which worry not is, be not afraid is
Something that angels say, yeah.
that is the resounding and constantly that is the reprise from
Yeah.
every angel to Christ himself is worry not, be not
And here
afraid.
again is Paul saying it, yeah.
And just for reference, folks, that's First Thessalonians. You're going to want to go to chapter 4, verses 13 to 18, more or less, if you want.
But
the
basically,
exact
they
skinny.
seize upon this very vague wording about going up into the sky, and they go, "Oh, cool! That would be cool if that happened, right?" Like, basically,
I mean, yes, but
it would be. So I've heard from I saw a couple things online that indicated that it was possibly tapping into a commonly held rabbinical belief or something at the
yes,
time about how in the end times we'll all be able to fly or something. I don't know.
yes.
Again, it's
There is a Jewish messianic expectation that
about
kind of
flight. I think it's something to do with Elijah, right? Because he
it,
went up in the sky, right?
yes, and it also harkens to the Satan tempting Christ by jump from the temple and save yourself. That's also appeals to that flight of
Fair
fancy,
enough.
if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's also another. That's the other thing about like the Bible is like sometimes you got to understand that the lines, certain lines in it are referring to something that is contextual at the time it was written, and if you try to look at it in a very literal sense through like 2025 or whatever year you're listening to this in eyes, you're gonna look like a fucking idiot.
I can give
Yeah.
you a perfect, if I may, let me give you a
Please.
Yeah,
perfect
please.
My father's a biblical expositor. He went to
Mm.
both. He was one of the only Gentiles allowed in a rabbinic school to learn ancient Hebrew, and all because they didn't want him, of course. But he pointed out in the Bible where it says, if a man seeks the word, yet it's a mitzvah, you must pass it down, right? So they reluctantly let him in. Then he goes to Union Theological Seminary and then Fuller Seminary. He's got 2 doctorates, one in divinity, one in theology. My dad's a real smart guy when it comes to the Bible. He can read and write in Aramaic, Koine Greek, and Hebrew, right? Not bad for an old Virginia boy from the mountains. But
Yeah.
my dad explained it to me
Here.
to touch on what you're saying, Scott. You're making what my dad calls the idiomatic argument, okay?
Mm.
And the way my dad explained it is like this. For example, is it Ezekiel and when it says Moses fled in a chariot of fire, right?
Mm.
Okay. Well, people, ancient astronaut theorists suggest, right? You get all this, but here's the thing: that was a idiom in the times that meant you were
Sure.
fucking stark pissed off.
Right.
It's like,
Okay.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I get mad, I'm about to whoop somebody's ass. We're in a bar together. Back in them days, we're drinking mead or whatever the fuck, or wine, whatever the fuck, and I get fucking pissed and I storm the fuck out to avoid popping this guy in the mouth.
Hell
I say,
yeah.
what happened to JB? Or he left in a chariot of fire, right?
I'm
Put it in
adopting
context-
that actually.
Put it into context, but with what you're saying, if the 3 of us flew to Tokyo tomorrow, okay, and we went out and got blind, fucking stupid drunk, the 3 of us, right, and we're on the Tokyo
great.
subway. We're on the Tokyo subway
I love.
the next day, and some Japanese guy that speaks broken ass English says, what did you do last night? I said, man, I got drunk as a skunk. He gonna be like, drunk as a skunk? He's not gonna know what the fuck what I'm talking about.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the idiomatic argument. So to your point, there's I can quote you chapter and verse where it's a saying. Also, here's a big one. Here's a huge one. Everyone loves to go to this one. If a man spite thee on one cheek, offer him the next. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you where that comes from. In those days, if you committed any kind of disgraceful act that wasn't punishable by death or delimbing, right? You'd get smited across the face.
Right.
Like if a kid was out of line, pop them in the fucking face. It would shame them. Then they're walking through the fish market with a big old fucking handprint on their face, right? So when Christ says, I'll offer the other cheek, it's you can't shame me, you can't break me. It's actually very fucking punk rock,
Yeah. I've also heard now that to add on to that, I actually we have a friend of the show named Dominic Scarcella who wrote a whole book about the Bible, particularly the New Testament. You also talked about that exact story. It goes even further. It's exactly what you're saying, JB. You're completely right, but it goes even further. The implication when you turn the other cheek is that you would then use your left hand, ergo, or no, sorry, you'd be using both sides of one hand because it would be unthinkable to hit somebody with your left hand because that's your shit hand.
Well, everyone did the wipe left-handed, like
I guess. Well, yeah, you don't use your good like the right hand path on your ass.
I use whatever hand works the best to get to that mess.
If I remember correctly,
I tore my rotator cuff, dude. I had to learn how to do the wipe left-handed. It was not fun. It was not fun.
Yeah, actually, I bet.
Whichever hand's not holding the beer is wiping my ass.
There you go. No, I got a really bad cut on my hand from work. And I had to learn how to wipe with the other hand, actually, truthfully.
Scott?
Well, so you can make a trick question joke. What hand does BB wipe with? He doesn't. He's got Trump.
He doesn't. So true.
I got you both on that one. That was good. All right.
But yeah, so regardless though, yeah, so so they're taking this very thin justification to be like, oh, we're literally gonna go up in the sky. Even though again, it's probably some reference to like some bit of trivia or oral tradition around the time that it was composed. And the other thing is, the other primary thing is I mentioned this before, but there's the separate promises given to the Jews and to the church, and that means that when God, Yahweh, I guess he'd be in this part of the book, or actually he might even be Elohim at this part of the book, if I'm not mistaken.
Taking the Lord's name.
Yeah, well,
take it easy.
It's the Jewish part.
Take it easy.
Half of me can't help it.
No,
he said the thing. He said the thing.
You know,
Shut it down.
but basically though, God says to Abraham, he goes, literally all this geographical area. By the way, this is not the correct interpretation. I don't want anyone to think that I'm endorsing this view, but
the History Homos podcast does not endorse dispensationalism in any sort.
Thank you for clarifying that. But no, but according to the dispensationalists, they mean quite literally like God's a real estate agent, and he said this exact area is for you guys and nobody else, and that's all I'm promising you.
Location. Well, here's the biggest misnomer, because the dispensationalists are the ones that are like, they get a free pass because they're the chosen ones, right?
Right.
Well, and rabbinic Jews as well. But here's the thing: if you read the Old Testament, they were the Hebrew people were chosen by God, not as his favorite, but to be the custodians of the word.
Yeah.
They failed to do that. They committed idolatry. They committed
repeatedly.
Right. And the deal was off.
Yeah.
They ruined it.
Yeah.
Right. And hence the shedding of Christ's blood on the cross became the new covenant. The old covenant was destroyed. Not that God nullified it. It's that the people he chose to be the custodians and the bearers
they
of
said,
the
no,
word,
we reject
their
you.
responsibility.
They reneged.
God himself. They reneged. Yes. They no, God literally came down to earth. He came down to earth himself in a human body and died, and they said, and then came back to life to prove it's him. And they were like, people do that all the time.
Do a flip too.
It's funny because I've read parts of the Quran, right? And the Quran doesn't believe that Christ was God incarnate.
Yeah.
but they believe everything else that the New Testament says. Well, and they think that the crucifixion there was a staging element to that. But
yeah, I think they said
that
that he escaped at the last minute, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was the original psyop, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they mention him. I mean, he's Yeshua in his native tongue, but he was Isha in Arabic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And or Ishu rather. So you'll see, what is it, 56 references to him in the Quran, and they're all favorable. They even talk about the virgin birth. I mean, like, but so it's funny where we hear all this Judeo-Christian talk, and it's like, well, the love or hate Muslims, they're more sibling akin to the New Testament than,
at least they love
anything
Christ.
Rabbinic Judaism ever teaches.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny you mention that.
What does Rabbinic Judaism say about Christ? Where does Christ lie?
Oh, don't ask,
in the
brother.
Talmud.
It's scatological.
How much time you got, Patrick? You got another
not
cigar
long.
sitting there, pal, in a bottle?
Not long. It's we're about to get sucked up in the
might
sky.
get through it before the rapture happens tonight.
But yeah, no. To that end,
That was good.
what was I just gonna say? Fuck. Damn it. I lost what I had a
God
point
blesses those who blesses him.
there.
Yeah. What's silliness? I'm sorry.
It is silly.
We were talking about Rabbinic Judaism's versus Islam's.
Yeah, I think it had something to I think it had something to do with the Islam thing. But
he is referred to as a prophet in Islam.
Yes. For sure.
Although also Allah is referred to as the greatest deceiver by his own people, which I don't care for that. I don't think that's a good thing.
I think they're like unironically like not like reverse Gnosticism where they like worship the demiurge. I've talked to Jay Dyer about this actually, and Jay Dyer said I agree with you when I said that. I said, do Muslims like unironic demiurge worshippers? And he said, yeah, I literally think that. That's what Jay Dyer said.
Unironic.
Yeah, unironic demiurge enjoyers. Yeah.
Muhammad being the demiurge or Allah being the demiurge?
Allah being the demiurge.
Well, they should just get with the program, shouldn't they? I mean, get to the real deal.
I don't know, man. It's not my religion. I'm not coming down on them. It's just something I've observed based on their theology.
We wish them well.
I do wish them well, truthfully.
The wellest.
I wish everybody good.
Almost.
I wish that everybody finds the peace and
I wish everybody Apophis.
Apophis, yeah.
I wish everybody Apophis.
I wish everybody a happy Festivus.
There's 8.4 billion names tattooed on this fucking rock, and it's hurling in our direction. I love it.
Okay. Okay. I think I have what I was trying to get at.
Yes.
So, okay. Yes, I do remember now. So yeah, basically the idea is that the covenant that God offered the Jews in the dispensational view is the geographical location of Israel so they can have it, and therefore that will result in the end times coming.
Why, Scott? Why do they need to be there? What do they need to do there? Start a nitpick, but what do they need to do?
Rebuild the temple, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay, you have to rebuild the temple and resume in temple. Oh, that's right. I remember what I was going to say. You guys were talking about Judeo-Christian values. That's right. The book I read, which is called Unusual Relationship, which is a pretty interesting book I read.
Pretty interesting title.
Great, yeah.
Was the guy's name Yitzhak?
Yes, it is.
Yitzhak
with two A's, and then Ariel? Yitzhak Ariel.
Yeah, Yitzhak Ariel is the name of the guy, yeah.
Yeah. Good book, Scott. I didn't get to finish it, but I'm glad
I did finish it, actually. I finished it at 5:45 p.m. It is now 8 p.m. That's when I finished reading this book.
You're still digesting. What are you doing?
Listen, I'm getting a cramp. I should have jumped into the pool after eating that book. So it's funny you say that. Oh, what is the deal with this fucking idea of Judeo-Christian values? There's a section in the book near the end where it talks about Jews that converted to evangelical Christianity. Now, I have my doubts as to the authenticity of this conversion, not for nothing.
Double agents.
Yeah. But that said, in it, they were talking in the book, it was talking about like other Jewish people reacting to them. And they said something which I thought was so funny. I'm gonna absolutely adopt, but a Jewish guy said this, by the way, said saying so specifically these guys, these Jews who convert to Christianity, they call themselves Messianic Jews or Jewish Christians. And this guy said, that's like saying I'm a communist capitalist. It makes no sense in any way.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you could be ethnically Jewish if you accept Christ as Mashiach. You're a Christian.
But that's I guess, but according to other Jews, no.
That's what I'm saying. Why make the desert? Yeah, because you know,
hey, who cares what they think?
Free. I'm keeping the title.
Yeah.
I mean,
but my point though is, it's like even in intra-Jewish dialogue, they're like, no, Judeo-Christian's not a thing. Like,
we will agree. All right.
Yeah.
Let's agree to disagree.
Cruz, pal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anything to Ted Cruz other than get away.
Yeah. You
step back, sir.
Rat-faced freak.
You freaking blob man.
You know what's funny? I don't mean to diverge, but speaking of that slime
please
ball,
do.
If there was ever a face you could put to like greasy, corrupt, on the take politician, how the fuck did that guy ever get?
He looks like a car salesman.
Dude, don't insult car salesmen.
Like come on.
Fair point.
At least car salesmen provide a valuable, service
I mean,
for us.
He was the most Weasley. And I love how like on X, it was Twitter back then, but they're like, when he grew the fucking beard, they're like Ted Cruz is base now. Bearded
oh
Ted Cruz.
no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can spray perfume on a pile of dog shit, pal.
But
yeah, he went from twink to bear when he got his beard.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, it's funny you say that, JB, because I was thinking the same thing. Like Ted Cruz, the guy who won't grow a beard unless his aides tell him it's a good idea. It's polling well. It's the only thing that will save him.
That mandate right out of Tel Aviv, dude.
Yeah, maybe. It's like
Ted, we're doing beards now. Yeah, it's base to have a beard.
Now
we're going Old Testament.
We've taken a consensus, and we think you look slimy. Grow the beard.
Ted, the polls are in. You look like shit. Fix it. Stat.
People are comparing you to a fat woman on the internet. Remember that?
Oh no, I only remember his father killing Kennedy.
I have. Have you noticed too? I know this happens to all of us. It's happened to me. I got the Eastern European slope, but it's like gravity is.
JB, please. Asian American is the preferred nomenclature.
Come on, down. But like gravity's been
Frickin'
very
marmots.
unkind to Ted Cruz's schnoz.
Yeah, listen, he's melting, dude. He hasn't been getting enough kid blood.
It's all this. It's
Epstein closed up shop and he was in deep shit.
Dude. He's smelling those. He's smelling those fucking Apex shekels. His nose.
Yeah. They stopped putting them in his pocket. They're now just dropping them on the floor, and that's why his nose is just growing closer.
Yeah, it turns down.
He'll be
like a plant when it reaches towards the sun.
Exactly. Poor Ted. We wish him well. Mostly his family.
Ted.
I wish him Apophis.
But anyway, so
I wish all of you a merry Apophis.
I don't know what that is.
I accept that.
Apophis is the asteroid that's headed towards Earth in 2029.
No one told me. What am I supposed to do?
Look it up, man. Apophis.
I won't. I refuse
NASA
to
says
be
it's
afraid.
not going to hit us, but a lot of ancient astrologers or astronomers rather.
You know what NASA means in Hebrew, though, don't you?
Is it the Jewish version of massa?
No, it's
Deception.
no, it means like something like deception or like being secretive or something like that.
Nasha, Nasha, Nasha in Hebrew
Well, that was like that old fucking joke. You
means
know why ain't no black astronauts? They don't want to
Um,
have to. They don't want to have to say yes, NASA, no NASA.
I've never heard that one before. And Whitey's on the moon. But what's it called? That so okay. I think I kind of covered what but regardless, this
this
was a movement that it sort of happened during the same time as Mormonism, and it exploded actually. And I would say a big part of it exploding had everything to do. Well, first of all, here's the thing. Here's how you know there was dark money behind it is because they had endless fucking institutions set up with who the fuck are these people? They're just random guys who were some random guy in the Baptist church, in the Methodist church, which, by the way, were at the time mainline Protestants. Now, albeit they were pietist, meaning they leaned into like the temperance movement and like women voting and shit like that. So, yeah, not cool. I'm not trying to like say it's
not
cool.
cool, man.
Down with
Um,
suffrage.
Cool, man.
but regardless, the point is that this was like a break off movement in all of these churches, and they ended up by and large like taking over these churches for the most part. There still are like mainline Methodists and like mainline other things, but
They're growing. They're growing decreasingly present. Yeah.
yes. And then also those ones, by the way, are the ones you find like with like trannies as like the minister and stuff like that too. So it's a bad scene. But regardless, so the reason I have to assume that there's money behind this is because they set up the Bible colleges, and the idea is like it sort of LARPs as like a seminary,
Yeah.
but it's for you like Jim Bob and Sally Mae like
In 16 months, you could be having people send money to Israel.
yeah. And they had these big conferences and shit where they instruct all these people in this, and what they're doing is they're selling you on. And by the way, I want to make sure everyone understands here. I'm not like if you are a dispensationalist and you're listening to the show right now, I'm sorry for this characterization I'm giving right now, but I'm sorry, this is the only way I can read. I'd say a lot of religious people would call me heretical for some of my interpretations of the Bible. But this stuff you're imbibing is insanely heretical. Like,
Well, no, but that's the thing. I mean, the problem is that these people, these pastors represent this shit as though it's scriptural. It's
yeah,
not. Okay.
Yeah.
This all goes back to Darby and Scofield. We haven't even touched on Scofield yet.
yeah, he's next.
All those pro bono copies of the Scofield Study Bible that they just sacked out in these poor ass fucking communities all over the West. I mean, it was the greatest subversion of Christian doctrine ever implemented in the history of Christian, by far.
Also, I want to say this
is
Patrick, you'll remember in that Johnny Appleseed book, we were talking about how particularly in like the non-urban areas of America, like the rural areas in America, I don't remember who said this. I feel like it was, I can't remember, but somebody said, some cultural commentary guy said that Americans have a tendency to go in for anythingism and nothingism. Meaning they're anyone's dog for a bone as far as, ooh, new theology, I'm in, I'll try that out.
I don't think that's an American problem.
I don't either.
That's one of those brain twister things that pretentious people say to sound fucking smart. For example, I remember, what was it in fat fuck Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine movie?
Yeah.
When he goes up to Canada and he's trying to get the consensus of Canadians on our lack of gun control here.
Yeah.
And the one smug, like the textbook smug Canadians, like, in America, you lock your doors to keep the world out, and here in Canada, we lock our doors to keep ourselves in. It's up there with that level of fucking pretentious bullshit, man. It's fucking, what? No,
What
it's
are
like,
you
I'm just saying,
talking
though,
about?
you talk
but
about giving somebody
particularly in the
fucking back.
1800s, in the 1800s was like this time period where like literally hundreds of different denominations emerged out of. So basically, people were interested in like branching out, though, is what I'm getting
That's
at.
that's the Orthodox Church's argument, man. Is that once you get this Reformation Calvinist bullshit, it's just branch
Yeah,
after
that's
branch
true. Yeah,
after branch. It grows like ivy and starts constricting the fuck
yeah, you might
out of
as
the
well.
tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, it as soon as the sola scriptura, every man a priest approach, or that immediately tears the floor out from the entire Orthodox and Catholic tradition, where there is an appeal to authority, there is an appeal to um, a
there's no appeal to
hierarchy.
church history. There's no appeal to the writings of the church fathers. There's
Hmm.
no appeal to apostolic tradition. They just flush all
Hmm.
of it down the toilet. And to say, like I said, hey, I came back from the strip club on Friday. I'm gonna be the pastor on Sunday.
yeah.
It's like,
Hey, yeah, dude. No,
but
and
also
there,
too, that's like but the idea of sola scriptura, I disagree with it. I'm definitely in line with my Orthodox roots on that one, where it's like the Book of James, faith without works is death. The idea of theosis is not becoming a god; it's merging with God's essence through your hard work and determination and your sacrifice, sacrificing your earthly pleasure, renouncing your sin, and trying to connect with that which created all of us, right?
yeah,
And dispensationalism flushes all of that down the toilet.
yeah,
No, JB,
absolutely.
I'm sorry. I've been told by people who live in Utah that that means I will quite literally be God someday and have my own planet in which I am the God overlord of.
Well, as Trey
Nice.
Parker and Matt Stone said, dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
What would we what would we think? Theosis. Is it a sense of what it's like to be God? Is it a sense of
Here's the best analogy
please?
I've heard. Okay?
Perfect. Yes. Exactly. What I was
And I
looking
didn't
for.
create this. I heard this, but this is from an Orthodox teaching. Okay,
No, no, every man a priest. You came up
this
with it.
idea.
Sorry.
See you on Sunday, my ninja. But, um, I'm gonna have me a Cadillac by October 12th. Watch this shit.
October 7th.
Exactly. I'm gonna anniversarize this motherfucker.
I'm celebrating October 7th.
I gotta go to hell. I'm such a bad person. Anyway, it's like this. It's the difference between God's essence and his energies. And I'm by no means an Orthodox scholar, but I can tell you this: like, if you take a hot electric wire, an uncoated wire, hot wire, and
Hmm.
you touch it, it's gonna fry your ass. You're dead.
Yeah.
You can't. Your body chemistry, your makeup cannot withstand what it is to touch it. That would be God's essence. We can't understand God's essence. He who would see my face would fall dead. Okay.
Mm.
So
Amen.
God's energies, you take that hot wire, you run it underground, and you run a proper coated wire to it, and plug a lamp into that, you have light. That's
Oh, that's
God's
beautiful.
energies. Okay.
That's beautiful.
So
I
that's the
love
best
that.
analogy I can give you to answer that question, if that
That's
helps.
perfect.
So,
Thank you.
my
That's
pleasure.
exactly what I needed. Yeah. All right.
Um,
Yeah. Well, um,
you won't be getting anything that clever or meaningful or devotional in this bullshit. Though. That's for shit
no,
sure.
we're just
Well,
angry.
I had to make up for wishing asteroidal death to the entire planet somehow. So,
It's out of your hands, JB. It's either going to happen or it's not going to
oh,
happen.
I
So you
hope
don't
it
have
doesn't
any.
happen.
You have
I hope
no whether you or not you encourage it to
Team
happen or not.
Apophis all fucking day long and twice on Sunday.
Um, but anyway, so okay, so now let's talk about Scofield. So Scofield is a guy who is he was Darby was the originator of it, and then this guy named Moody became like sort of the interlocutor between these two eras here. And he was very popular too, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
And also
Oh,
there
yeah.
was this other guy who is French named or no, he's German named no, Garbaline. No, he is French actually. Arnon Garbaline or something like that. I can't remember. But
Something like
regardless, he
that.
was also a contemporary of both of these guys. But he was the European branch. We're mostly talking about America here. Um, so a student of Mooney's though was this guy named Cyrus Scofield, who was first he was a Confederate soldier. After the war, he got in with the federal government actually somehow. Um,
Bitch ass.
I'm
He
gonna
wa-
have to guess he was a Freemason.
he was a Confederate, and then changed the allegiances
I'm
with.
gonna have to guess this guy
The
was a Freemason
ultimate
because he
cuckoldry.
became. Well, all
Come on,
Freemasons
man.
are, JB.
I'm from the South. You're a Confederate that goes to work for fucking Washington. That's cuckery.
Yeah.
Cuckoldry.
Well, I'm just gonna say though, the way to if you're a Confederate soldier and then you somehow end up getting a district attorney appointment, chances are you knew somebody. And I have to imagine that this guy was, like I said, a high level Freemason or something. And but he was caught taking bribes while he was a district attorney. And he was promptly fired, disgraced, and by some accounts, jailed, actually.
But hey, now is when his
Second
now
act.
yeah, now he can really get going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he can,
And so, oh yeah, so he got out of jail. He gets out of jail. If he went to jail, we don't really know. And at some point, he abandons his entire family because he can't make ends meet,
like all great men
like all great men.
of
He has
history.
2 daughters that he abandoned completely, and a wife. And and he went to
dog,
go
probably.
moved, I assume, and he moved a state away where he became like an underling lawyer to make ends meet, right? And the story goes that while he was working at this law firm, his coworker there, another lawyer, was a follower of Mooney's. He was a pre-millennial dispensational evangelical Christian, and he basically talked this guy Scofield into having a conversion experience, and inducted him into this group. Now, again, this is what we call in the what they call in the intelligence industry a legend. um, but
Yeah, it is.
but regardless, he became a very pivotal member of the nascent premillennial dispensational evangelical Christian movement. And his contribution to the movement would be that he would compose a new translation of the I
King
guess no,
James.
it is King James. It's
Yeah.
King James version,
Yeah,
but
it
he
was
would produce a
our
new
first
version
problem.
of the King James version Bible, but with commentary in it. Now, this is not the first time that there's ever been a Bible with commentary in it. The first was Calvin's in the Geneva Bible in 1560. He stinks.
Ooh.
But this is the second. So I think we can safely say that reference Bibles suck.
Ah!
Well, the
I,
problem
I,
is that well, go ahead, Patrick. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say I've gotten so much value from my Orthodox study Bible. I could not, and that's steered me no kind of way other than
Okay.
you know.
Well, I will say this is that the way they pitched it, or I should say Scofield pitched it, was now that um you have this study Bible, you don't need a clergyman to help you interpret the Bible. You're free to interpret it in your own home. Now, the irony of this, of course, is the fact that when you read his commentary alongside the scripture, there's only one way you can interpret it, and it's stupid. um, and the other major thing he did was that he titled the sections framed them
I
in
mean,
ways that sort of led the witness almost.
Good turn of phrase there.
Yeah.
Led the witness. Yeah. But see,
Basically,
that's the
yeah, he'd
problem.
be like,
But that goes back to what we were saying a moment ago, because the best interpretations, if you look pre Great Schism, okay,
Yeah.
you look pre 1054 when there was one church, right?
Mm.
The church fathers, even past the schism, but if you look at the OG church fathers, they were the interpreters. They were the breakdown vessel. So this idea that and they put it in lay, well, not lay English, but they put it in lay terms
Yeah.
so people could so the everyday person could understand. And that's the importance of, that's why church elders are important. That's why, like being able
Tradition.
to, absolutely. And when you take the tradition and say, it's kind, it's, well, it's always a perfect parallel. Look at Europe today. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's forget about thousands upon thousands of years of industry, of technology, of invention, of culture. If you're,
Hmm.
throw out your Lederhosen if you're Swiss, throw out your kilts if you're a Scot, and let these fucking
Your printing
what's fucking
press.
fuck your daughter, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, only it's on a massively theological and spiritual level. It's the same devil, no pun intended.
Yeah.
I'm not even being punful. It's the same
Their
fucking
No.
father is the
vile. It's
devil.
the same vile shit. What's that?
And their father is the devil, and he's also the father of
They're
lies.
they are
John
of their
8:44,
father.
brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, so absolutely couldn't agree more. But yeah, so what was I gonna say next? Um, yeah,
Let you know.
so Scofield, he's scumbag, by the way, went to jail for being a corrupt political official,
Hey, have
dumped his
some
family,
respect.
and now he
He
has a whole new career as a religious. So it's kind of what you were just saying about the guy who was on the strip club on Friday, and suddenly on Sundays he's in the church preaching. But yeah, he
Hey
sold
man,
this, and by the way,
have some
this sold
respect. He suffered
massively.
from the itis.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
I
suffered
forgot
from the itis.
Scofield. Yeah, he
Don't.
claimed. So I heard that me and Patrick watched this video in which this guy said he found a source that said that when his kids would write to him to be like, "Dad, please send us some money," he would say, "No,
Ha ha
sorry,
ha.
I've come down with a terrible case of Scofielditis. I keep spending money too fast before I make any." He said this to his
Which,
kids.
We got to keep
come
that
on,
alive.
man.
Get
We got to
The
keep
Schofield.
that
Well,
alive.
I
Scofield.
don't have Scofielditis, thankfully.
No,
I
but
don't.
I'm talking about like referring to other people. Like Ted Cruz sure as fuck does.
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah. I got a whole there's whole demographics that have Scofielditis, I think.
Exactly.
um but what's it called? I was gonna
Sorry.
say
Go
is
ahead. Yeah.
yeah, no,
I don't wanna let
yeah, this
that
guy sucks.
pass.
And so he was actually super wealthy. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is guess who fucking published it?
Oxford.
uh.
Oxford University Press.
Yeah.
Oxford University, who's that? Who's that? Is that possibly Cecil Rhodes' alma mater, the guy who dumped
Oh, and
billions of today's
the
dollars into?
financiers all have some interesting names too. Edelman and Galadine and all. Yeah, dude. You've looked up the people that bankrolled it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, it was still, I would say that it was the whole op is like it's very fishy. We don't have like this is the thing. It's so old now that we don't have any documentation um about it or anything for the most part, but like the whole thing, the whole movement is suspect, like at very least, given the, the
Well,
implications.
the implications. Well, I mean, given the circumstances, I mean, we understand that these people are not beyond century-long plans.
Absolutely not.
So, from the from the inception and the popularization of the Scofield Bible and this idea of allowing people to think that they are exegeting, or they're performing their own exegesis on the text of the
Yeah.
the good book, they're really just falling in tandem with what this gentleman who has some tenuous supposed connections to the Rothschilds and definitely to the Cecil Rhodes money through
For
Oxford.
sure.
Um,
Yeah.
we watched
Which,
the
by the way, is
Theology Mom.
also that's Rothschild, by the way, because who do you think gave Cecil Rhodes his money?
That's so funny because you sent me a video, Scott, from Theology Mom, who, bless
Yeah,
her heart, I mean, really, what a lovely lady. But
I said
she,
I described it as mild Hasbara,
but no, they're
but she's a
really,
nice looking lady.
yeah. And whether or not the original intention was, oh, yeah, no, it's 1850, whatever the hell, and we do intend to jerry rig the nation of Israel together in the Middle East in the
Yeah.
next century or so. Whether or not that was a concrete plan on paper, it's certainly, I
It was
think,
moving at the time because the
yeah,
younger
exactly.
brother of
Yeah.
the Rothschilds had been paying to have Jewish agricultural plantations down there in mandatory Palestine.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, while it was still the Ottoman Empire. The other thing, we got to do an episode on this, by the way, but the Ottoman Empire is the original Zog. Like, that's the reality is
Mm,
the Ottomans,
mm.
who do you think they finance things with? They're not allowed to do usury. They had to have pet bankers. Well, they didn't realize that they were the pets, but the fact is that who do you dude, I remember the
I know
guy
who
who
the boss
you
in
know
my house is, and it's my cat. It's not me. All right.
yeah, that's true. It's
I'll
it's
tell you
their
that.
world. We're just living in it. But what's it called? No, very interesting. I thought was really funny is during the Ottoman period, Napoleon famously went to Egypt and then tried to fight up the east coast of the Mediterranean there. And when he got to Palestine, he was beaten by an Ottoman general whose last name was Cohen.
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah, I guess
Is
I
that
could be
a
one tick in the box of Napoleon based. I don't know. I don't really think he is. I think he's a cringe, but
Napoleon doomed?
yeah, he got
Napoleon
his ass
didn't.
kicked by
Yeah.
the evil alliance.
The forces of evil.
The force of the evil, yeah.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
other thing
No
is,
pun intended.
okay, so but in the mid 1800s though, there's this guy named Lord Ashbury, who was a navy
Royal
admiral,
Navy
if I'm not
man.
mistaken, Admiral Ashbury, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
And hang on, let me just get his uncle was also another really famous lord of who was in the British Foreign Office. Ding. Um, the British Foreign Office, notably, is where the what's it called? The Milner Group was run out of course.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but I'm sorry. Yeah, Lord Shaftesbury and his uncle Lord Palmerston, who was in the British Foreign Office, looked to the restoration of the Jews to Palestine as a way of influencing the Ottomans to address the Eastern question. Now, avid listeners of the show will remember when we talked about the Crimean War, that was the military solution to what the Western powers, but primarily the like bankers and stuff, called the Eastern question. Now, remember who who were the Russians really mean to? Remind me who the Russians might have been mean to at one point in the 1800s.
The people of
Uh,
the phlegm.
I was gonna. Oh shit! You got me on that one. Well done. Well done.
But you're right. You're
That,
right
that,
about
beat,
that.
that, that beats what my answer was going to be. I thought I had a zinger headed for you, and he got
Well,
me
the
on that.
Eastern question, in essence, was the British and the French, but basically, really, all these countries that have central banks is really who we're talking about here. They were really concerned about the Russians having sway over the Ottomans because remember, there's a lot of Christians in the Ottoman Empire who are Orthodox Christians, and the Russian Orthodox Church was like majorly influential within the whole Orthodox sphere. And so the Western powers were terrified of the idea that the Ottomans would have influence from the Russians, who are mean to the people of the phlegm. And ergo, they would then turn on the people of the phlegm, and then there would be a whole issue. Because, like I said, it was Zog. It was literally the Ottomans were Zog. So the Western powers who had central banks were like, oh shit, we got to keep the Ottomans on side, which is why they had the Crimean War. Now, but in the meantime, Lord Shaftesbury, who was a convinced, supposedly, I don't know, he was supposedly a convinced premillennial dispensational evangelical Christian. So he had a dual not only did he had dual loyalty basically to both his religion and also to his geopolitical aims as a a British imperialist, which was at the time it would very easy to say that the central bankers staying on the I mean the central bankers were a very major aspect of why the British Empire was dominant in the 1800s. Let's just face that. Um, but yeah, so
Unpopular opinion, Scott.
I know that's true. Um, and yeah, so I think that's a really interesting detail. By the way, this book was very good. Gives you all those little gritty details like that. Another thing was that there during the 1800s there was actually a colony of evangelical Christians who moved to Palestine in order to just be there if possibly the rapture happens, and they just want to be on ground zero. Now, but the interesting thing about that is that
Location.
sure, but the interesting thing about that is some of them were very interesting figures, such as Charles Chinese Gordon, a general in the English army, or the British army rather. And guess who he was? What
Chinese.
group he was a part of?
Like every other Gordon.
The Milner group.
He was in the Milner group. Yes, he was also in the Cecil Rhodes Round Table group as well.
How round is this table?
It's very large, and I think they all face each other's butts when they stand at the table, so they can all fit.
They all sit. It's not a circle. It's a ring that they.
Yes,
sit
it's nuts to
inside
butts,
of.
nuts to butts ring. Yeah.
Nuts to butt.
But yeah, so this is the kind of people we're talking about here, folks.
Real jerks.
Yeah.
Real
So
jerks.
and also I think it's interesting that so the of course the 1909 is when the Scofield Reference Bible was printed, and I believe Rhodes died in only 1899. So
That sounds about right.
Rhodes legacy. This is the thing, folks. You need the Rhodes pill too to understand the full scope of how this all shit connects. By the way, 'cause we
Harken
didn't have that
back.
detail that Charles Chinese Gordon was a part of the nascent, Christian Zionist movement. It might not really click. Although I guess it's
Hmm.
not the crazy proposition at any point that this is just all one big op,
Yeah.
Shabbos goy op.
I don't know
Um,
I think we're beyond the point now where people need A to B to C to D to E to F to G type
we might
of
have new listeners.
welcome. Welcome to
Yeah.
the show. Harken back to the old episodes where the Rhodes pill is
Front
plentiful.
and center.
And oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you were
So,
to, Scott, just like if you could put it in a
I would just say
timeline.
that you should listen
Yeah.
to you should listen to the episode we did, and also more importantly, read the book, The Secret Origins of World War One. That's
Perfect.
really all you need, folks.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's
Hidden
it.
History, The Secret Origins of World War One is what you need for all that sort of stuff.
That's the good shit. Shoot
But
that between your toes.
yeah, so okay, the book also it covers a lot of stuff, by the way. It covers the Holocaust, and the book
The
goes out of its
Holocaust?
way to sort of congratulate the evangelical movement for being instrumental in shaping public attitudes towards the Holocaust. And I'm not, that sounds like I'm joking.
It does sound like.
What
I'm
an
not
honor.
though. It's all there in the book.
I wish you were.
So basically, one thing they pointed out was in the after the war, after in Germany, the American government had a lot to do with what books could be printed. And so they were very selective, and they certainly didn't allow any books that would be allowing for people to get radicalized in they were doing a denazification program essentially.
Oh, thank
And so
goodness.
ergo they wanted to have de-radicalization content produced essentially. So basically, your edgy white nationalist adjacent guys who just say you should vote Republican podcasts essentially.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But what's it called? So yeah, after the war, they published a bunch of books about evangelical based books, not based like it's good, but like
Oh,
the basis is in evangelicalism, and they're all memoirs about the Holocaust, about devout evangelical people who helped Jews during the Holocaust, supposedly.
supposedly. Well, hey, good if they
And
did, bad if they lied.
well, the thing is this is the other thing is that because this was a non-mainstream movement within Protestantism, the evangelical movement or the dispensational movement, a lot of the way that these ideas spread were from popular culture. And so that included like memoirs about the Holocaust written in the dispensational worldview, essentially. And the fact that people were going to church every week and they're hearing the pastor or whatever they call them say, you got to read this book about this faithful brother of ours, same exact denomination as us, saving Jews during the Holocaust. But praise be, they saved them Jews in the Holocaust. And they basically sold these books for them because, the fucking people who go to the church aren't going to be like, no, fuck you, we're not reading the books. They're obviously going to buy it. And the Yitzhak fucking Ariel is going, great job, guys. You're reading the books about the Holocaust. The all of America basically figured it out all at once.
No, it was highly calculated. The whole thing was, I mean, for lack of a better word, it was a long-standing, deliberate campaign to subvert Christianity in the West,
Yeah.
and
And bake in these ideas and make them central to them. Like, forgive me. Now, forgive me here, but what
I
does the
forgive you.
Holocaust?
I forgive you too, my brother. Preach on.
I'm just saying, what does the Holocaust have to do with church? I just don't understand what the connection is there. Why do these people?
Well.
Why do these people feel? Why are these people being induced to read political doctrine? Essentially, what is a political doctrine?
Actually, I've got an answer for you. You want an answer to that?
I would love an answer.
No.
You go find something to do. Go wipe your ass left-handed.
I'm gonna go piss again.
But it's very simple, because if you can make that false equivalence that contemporary, Jews of Ashkenazi, stock that have been in Europe for thousands of years, right? If you can make the case that in National Socialist Germany attacking them, which if you know history, how the attack started to begin with, right? But if the argument gets made that these poor Jews were attacked, well, it's all for conflation purposes, because it's not, the thing about this, I'm tripping over my tongue a little bit, but like it's in its conflation that it sells, because it's not just about the Holocaust as in a bunch of people were rounded up and put in camps and killed or worked to death or whatever,
starved and typhus and
lampshades and soap and everything. Yeah, exactly.
Forced to learn symphonic music and
and have babies.
But what it really comes down to is if you can make that false equivalence, where like the chosen ones of God, this horrible thing happened to God's children. That's why that's where the emphasis comes from.
And it goes without saying that within these narratives that are now being enforced, there can be a frankly commercial interest in it, because let's face it, some of these stories, they're sensational. They're maybe a little bit literary. They're a little bit you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of panache, editorial what's it called? Artistic license being taken, perhaps we could even go so far as to say. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, this is the other thing is these books that like spread these ideas, they're fucking smash hits because they have this built-in audience of people who go to church every weekend, and they just all they want is to go fly up into heaven to meet God. And they have the guy saying, if you read this book about the Holocaust, you'll get to do that. You know, like, so it's like the terrible, like trick.
You get to jump the line.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing too. When you don't have to be accountable on a spiritual level, right? Go ahead.
Sorry, Law.
That's a freeze.
No, I think I lost you. I think the forces of evil are working against us here.
Yeah, we're not having a good time tonight.
Shut it down.
We're having too dank of a conversation.
Well, Scott, what do you think the odds are that you've got? I mean, your listenership's growing and ever growing, like you know. But considering your attitude on things, what percentage of your listenership do you think are dispensational Kool-Aid drinkers?
Pretty low, I would say. I'd say just based on the demographics of where people listen from, I would say a lot of them are Catholic.
Well, I mean, I can say this to anybody listening that is a dispensational, you know, read the church history. If you're truly a Christian, read the church history, study the church fathers, and learn the new covenant. Understand that have told you is a lie, and that the people they've told you to basically carry a cross for, no pun intended, hate your fucking guts.
Yeah.
So if anybody, if I can be dead serious with you all, I love you. You know what I mean? I was joking about Apophis, well, half joking, but I love you. While we wait for Apophis, I want you to be happy and spiritually sound.
So true.
So just, you know, just know that you were lied, you were manipulated, you were lied to. You were told to stand for a group that would spit in your fucking face. And if you want proof of that, just go on YouTube while you still can and just search Christians spit on in Israel.
Yeah.
And then you come
So
on
true.
and any of you want to reach, I'm not hard to find. Email me. If you can still stand by that shit, then I'll have something less kind to say to you, but more sternly. But you know, in the meantime, just, you know, it ain't your, understand this, it's not your fault. You were bamboozled, you were hoodwinked, you were lied to, but take the time to learn the truth, man. If you're truly a Christian, your salvation depends upon it.
Amen.
And I'll leave
True.
it there.
Amen.
JB, what do you know
God
about
bless
the
you.
Council for National Policy?
What do we know? Sorry.
Not enough to comment. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the Council for National Policy is I'll just tell you what I think it is. I believe, in my opinion, it's a front for military intelligence. But
It's got one of those names like the Council on Foreign Relations.
Well, it was
council.
That's funny. You jumped directly to Council for Foreign Relations because its charter, as I understand it, was supposed to be the conservative counterbalance and equivalent to the Council for Foreign Relations, because these guys are all, I mean, it's a very secretive group. There's no public list of all the members. But the people who started, essentially, they were like, we're high level operatives within conservative blah blah blah, and we're connected to intelligence and stuff similar to the Council for Foreign Relations. However, we feel that they are too far left, and we want to have a conservative counterbalance to it. Now, interestingly, the co-founder of the Council for National Policy is a guy named Tim LaHaye. Tim LaHaye has he is the author of a series of books called Left Behind. Left Behind is a series of extremely popular novels that are about dispensational rapture and the end times. And it
most recently adapted into a film in 2014 with Nicolas Cage.
I was just about to bring up the Nicolas Cage connection, of course.
Sorry to step on you there, bud. Sorry to step on you there. It's just very strange that, you know, these things, just as they're at the twilight of their relevance, brought back into public.
Yeah. So, in fact, this Left Behind series, it is cited as being one of the largest new converters of people into the dispensational faith, because people just read this book and they go, wait, I could really go to heaven, fly?
No, you
No, you
can't,
can't.
and you won't. Neither will I.
But the best thing about it is that he did a
Stop it.
more Shabbos go. So the thing with
Behave, for crying out
the
loud.
the book, the Yitzhak Ariel book that I read was like sort of like so he mentioned like Scofield and Mooney and that other guy Garbalin, and he would say like, oh yeah, these guys were like they did a lot of work for the Jews, and he gave them a bunch of money and like did helped poor Jews like eat or whatever. I'll bet, but the regardless, he goes, but on the other hand, they also engaged in ugly stereotypes about Jews, um, which are just like true things, like they're cheap and stuff. Like, but regardless, but he went out of his way to say the new generation of dispensationalists, based around people like Tim LaHaye, they carefully became even more Shabbos goy, and they made. So the story of Left Behind is like sort of a modern day telling of the Rapture story, but instead of the Antichrist being Jewish, and as it is in the original amalgamation of dispensationalism, uh, they make him Romanian. So, and they also purposely did not. The other thing is, I think that a big part of the original
Oh,
version of dispensationalism, they were like very antagonistic towards the Catholic Church specifically. And so the fact that they made him Romanian was them having to be like a halfway point between him being um like a Eastern European Jew and being a Roman. Get it?
Well, also too, Romania was one of the, to add to that point, Romania was one of the few places as you headed eastward into Europe that had both an Eastern Orthodox and a Roman Catholic
Yeah.
presence. So they were subverting in stereo.
True. But yeah, so the point is that the Tim LaHaye era of dispensational fiction was now like, oh, we're definitely not going to step on any toes, because the point is that this was in a time, this is in the 90s, when everyone except the most sort of decided conservative evangelicals were losing, they were kind of losing sympathy for Israel, because the Israelis are being fucking assholes like repeatedly.
so Israel is asshole. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they were always being fucking assholes, but my point is that it became more public knowledge that they were being assholes, I should say.
More and more by the
Well,
day.
may I ask both of your opinions?
Scott,
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
no,
No, please.
no, you can't. No, I was gonna say, Scott's the one that put it in perspective for me that the public is getting privy to how
Bad those
disastrous.
guys are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't pay attention. I don't talk to people. I don't ask them any questions. I just, try to stay out of their way.
I mean, like France and fucking England are recognizing Palestinian statehood. Like they're in fucking full panic mode right now.
Yeah, no. And who before them? They're not the first countries. There was who was the first country? Like Sweden or
Canada?
something, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
A lot of places do. The point is, dude.
Let me
Bullshit
ask
countries.
you along these lines. This is tying.
Yeah,
into what
yeah.
I'm
Please,
saying.
please,
Please.
I'd love both of your opinions on this. Well, considering the length of this subversion and this psyop and all this shit, I noticed because I attend a Orthodox church not far from me, and they've had to lease out new land to build a second parking lot, and they're about to elongate the main chapel because they're getting flooded with people.
Amen.
And
I believe it.
I mean, not to be not flippant, but not to be, too cheeky, but it's funny. You look to the far left and the far right. The far left hates Israel and the Jewish influence because they see it as 21st century colonialism. Solely. They don't care about usury. They don't care about, any of the other shit.
They should, you know what?
They
Leftists
would
should
if
care
they
about
understood.
usury.
I
Yes.
agree.
And
No,
and they
but-
would
no,
if they
I'm saying
understood.
they just see it as the next arm of evil white men that are colonizing. That's the left's argument about Israel. The
Yeah.
right, of course, I don't want you to lose your show, so I won't articulate those talking.
Say whatever you want.
But
Mhm.
yeah, but I'm just saying that when the far left and the true right both agree that you're the problem, buddy, you got fucking problems.
Oh,
Yeah,
buddy.
you're in
So-
panic mode, bro. I talked about this.
So real quick, no, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Real
Please,
quick.
please.
But I had to give that preamble. What I'm
Hell
getting
yeah.
at is this: considering the length and the of the subversion of the bamboozlement and all this bullshit, considering also that just in the last fucking 2 years, the Great Awakening, the Great Notice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel that I think there will always be a handful of people that cling to that dispensational. They will die on that hill, but I see more and more people going, "Fuck this," and they're headed to the Orthodox Church, and they're headed to the Roman Catholic Church, and they're or they're headed to high church Protestantism like Presbyterian churches or an Anglican church or something like that. My question to both of you respectively is, if you were to make a bit of a prediction on the trajectory of things, because what I think is going to happen is I think everybody's going to wake up, and I think the powers that be are going to pull the fucking plug economically and send us into a.
That's what Patrick thinks too.
Oh, I was crashing out the other day. I was crashing out yesterday. Scott, tell him all about it.
Yeah, he was crashing out. He was.
oh,
He
yeah.
was. There was this video.
I took a
this
day off
video I
from
saw.
work, 1 day off, and I'm losing my mind.
I saw this video of this like cat in the shower, and he like looked sad, and I'm like, this is you right now, and he's like, that is me right now.
Well, no, but see, that's what I'm getting at. Like I personally think that you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, and I
No,
really
it's going to
think
be very
I
difficult.
really think Gaza was the turning point. I think that no matter how people feel religiously, culturally, ethnically, seeing dead babies pulled out of
Yeah,
rubble
in 4K.
is
Yeah,
really fucking hard to watch. And
Mhm.
I mean, I know people that can't stand. I know a guy that would call any brown person from over there a goat fucker. Okay, for example.
right. Yeah,
And even he was like, I don't like seeing them little goat fuckers pulled out that rubble, man.
it's very hard
Yeah.
to stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if but my point is that
Mhm.
one of two things is going to happen, in my opinion. We're either going to just cut ties and rebuild power, which they'll never let us do without a fight.
yeah.
Okay. But the problem is that the fox is already in the hen house. Okay.
Mhm.
What do you do when your lawmakers are bought? What do you do when your president's bought? What do you do when your judges are bought? You know what I mean? And if they can't buy you, they blackmail you. Or they
Civil
then
War.
they do both. They buy you and blackmail you. They got you
Yeah.
on the payroll and they get you on Epstein Island. And now if you decide to stop taking the payments,
Yeah.
good night, Irene. So it's one of those things where, like, I don't see an easy way out of this. In fact, I think one of my friends said, one of my buddies the other night, he goes, "What's the easiest way out of this?" I said, for Trump to tell Netanyahu that he's going to send a fucking plane over to bomb to Yemen or something, and just drops the bomb on fucking Tel Aviv instead. I said that would be the easiest. That would be the easiest.
Yeah, but the
way out of
Samson
it, man.
option.
Huh?
The Samson
But
option.
that's my point. If you fucking roast them first, they can't push the button.
Well, yeah, good point. But yeah, I don't know, man. It is a pretty bad situation. I'm not gonna
But
lie.
I'm saying barring something like that,
Yeah.
that's why I tell people always, "Oh, you fucking, Mr. Primitive Wilderness." It's like, yeah, motherfucker, I'll be fine. I don't know if I'll live indefinitely, but I'll outlive the initial fucking shit show. I guarantee you that. So, but
Live
anyway,
long
I'm just
enough to
curious
say the Lord's
like,
Prayer.
what do you guys think? Thank you. Exactly. What do you think if you were to predict the trajectory of things and what's most likely to come of this, because there are people snapping out of this Scofield dispensational mindset.
I have a two-part answer.
And real quick, the interesting thing is that not to repeat this, but it's not like they're giving up on Christ or God. They're going old school. They're going to the fucking Orthodox Church. You know what I'm saying? That, they're going to the based camp where motherfuckers don't cuck, and you know what I mean. And it's like, and so anyway, I'm just curious to know both of your reads on the trajectory of this.
Well, like a two-part answer. One, unfortunately there's a really large chance that they rein it in again by doing the base Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller's literally like Hitler, dude. Keep seeing that online. That's really adorable. No, it's not. I can't even
Who's buying
jokingly
that
say it.
shit though?
I unfortunately see people buying it. Like, well, here's the problem. You don't know because there's this unfortunate hyper reality we're inhabiting on the internet where you do get shown shit that isn't necessarily true, but it could try to give you the impression that, of something, But the other so I think there's a non-zero chance they end up reining it back in because they get everyone back on the Goy plantation by being like, we'll be based this time. Be based and red pilled for Israel. So that's a problem. But then the
You know
other,
what? You think that's really likely for real?
I don't know if it's likely, but it's a non-zero chance.
Okay, I'm listening. Continue.
It's that versus. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
A lot of chaos. That's the other. That's the other option. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
The Samson option.
Well, I mean, I was getting dark. I was showing the dark corner of my heart to Scott the other day. What was that? Yesterday.
Yes.
Just trying to make sense of what I feel like is a.
Well, I read that Michael Aquino Mind War paper, and
Yeah, I
like
know you did.
he framed it in this
Michael
way.
Aquino from the Temple of Set.
Yes,
Michael
him, yeah.
Aquino.
Yeah. He's basically he came up with this concept called mind war, which is basically the world we're in now, essentially, where
Ass war.
conflicts are not settled with bullets and like soldiers anymore. It's in your mind.
In your mind.
So basically, he says essentially though, in Vietnam we didn't
control.
lose because we didn't have enough guys to go there. But the point is that there was no way to win because the people they lost the psychological operation of being the good guys. They viewed the Viet Cong, the VC, and the North NVA as the good guys. So no matter how many bullets you pump into these people, they're never going to change their mind. So
Yeah, go figure.
I'm thinking about this thing in the framework of a mind war, essentially. And here's the reality. It's like you were just saying, JB. This is a time period, and there's never been in my fucking life this much noticing going on. There's never been a time period in which normies, dude, my coworker who's in his 50s was showing me, or no, sorry, my coworker in his 50s, there was a other guy in his 50s who's a UPS driver showing him the Goodfellas edit where it has the Orthodox Jews coming out of the tunnels. You know what I'm talking about? That video they did an AI edit of the end of Goodfellas. He was like, "We were Goodfellas," like that part. And it's got fucking Eric Clapton, Layla, the outro part playing. I watched a 55-year-old guy, a 55-year-old UPS driver show my 57-year-old coworker this on his phone. And I was like, I can't believe I'm in reality right now. So the other thing was I saw this a couple of people sent me this notably Romanized Visigoth sent me this video of a New York Times contributor, Jewish journalist guy going, hey, so there's this really big problem in games journalism right now, and in game discourse. Basically, everyone who's playing video games is describing different kinds of video games as slop. Now, but what most people don't know is that the origin of the word slop is goy slop, which is an anti-Semitic term.
No.
So basically, this guy is writing a fucking New York Times article.
They're the one that said it.
But the guy wrote a New York Times article basically saying, hey, gamers are all anti-Semitic. And my point is that we went from a world in which all discourse came from a Zionist-approved news outlet or Zionist-approved media company such as MGM, fucking Cinemax, whatever the fuck, all these different Warner Brothers, blah, blah, blah.
ESPN.
Disney, whatever. My point is all culture emerged from these top-down places that were all controlled by people, as you said, JB, are on the payroll or blackmailed. And all of a sudden, we're living in a landscape in which guys like us are the ones creating culture.
All
Literally the
culture
word
is downstream
goy-slop has
from.
been imbibed by the video game industry, video game discourse in totality, non-demographically. Meanwhile, meaning all kinds of different people are using these terms, and meanwhile, all kinds of different people are going, "Hey, what the Jews are doing in Israel or in Gaza right now is fucked up." At the same time, so
Mm-hmm.
there's never been a time in history where we were winning the mind war more.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and
Mind
that's
war.
yeah, and see, and that's the thing. Like, who on earth is going to just relinquish power?
I know, yeah.
Nobody. Yeah,
I
take
just,
it.
I just want to say real quick, Zoom just asked me to confirm my speaking language, and can you guess what it thinks my speaking language is?
Is it
Hebrew?
Hebrew?
German.
And you just we said that shit in perfect unison.
Hallelujah! Oh shit. I mean,
Well, I don't know.
yeah.
But to answer your question, JB, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't like to make long-term predictions like that, but I will say this: I think Gavin Newsom will be the next president.
And I think I'm gonna start learning
He's
Serbian
Russian.
or Czech. Get the fuck out of here.
he's got my
I-
vote. I don't even have to go to do it. Make it. He's got it. He's got my vote.
Yeah, he could probably get my vote just because I haven't voted.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Um,
yeah, I don't know. That's my
my lord.
short-term prediction. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know,
no.
man.
I already forgot the
guess.
question, frankly.
Well, what's your predictions? But I will say
Well,
this: I do think that Trump is going to
forget.
get us into a Middle East war, and that's why the Democrats are going to get the next election. By the way,
And I think they're going to shut off the internet before 2028, whether it be for
well,
a few days.
according to JB, that we're all going to get blown up by the asteroid in
That's
2029. So who
that's
cares?
April of 2029.
So
Well, I
so
mean,
why bother turning off the internet if you know the whole Earth's getting turned off by the fucking rock?
probably going to reset everybody's
I mean, listen, it's going to be in our atmosphere.
credit card points.
Whether our gravitational pull yanks it into us or not remains to be seen.
True.
But a man can hope.
JB, could you miss me with this ball Earth propaganda?
Excuse me.
Yeah, what's
Could you
all
miss me
this
with this ball
nonsense?
Earth bullshit?
Yeah, what a
We
ball?
all
The
know
Earth's
it's
a
called a
ball. The
planet.
space. What are you
You
telling me?
call it a what do they call it a planet, right? What
The
does that mean? It's a
space.
plane. It's a plane. Obviously, what is a
The
plane? It's a
space.
flat disc.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been wonderful. My final appearance on History Homos podcast.
Oh shit.
Nice knowing you.
JB, we don't care what you think the Earth's
I don't
shape
really think
is.
the Earth's flat. I just like
Well,
to.
I know you don't because I can shut down a
I
flat
don't
earther's
care.
argument 2 seconds. Look into the sky with a telescope, and everything is spherical. Leave it to human beings to be like, no, we're the exception. This is the flat shit over here. Everything else can be spherical. We live on the pancake.
Well,
To be fair, they
what
do have a theological argument for why that is, though.
I would think there is. I would think that there
I
is
think their
some.
idea is like we're just in God's creation, everything else is different.
If we are taking for granted
I
the
don't think that's right. I'm not endorsing this
paradigm.
view for the
No, no,
record.
yeah, I know what you mean, but if we're taking for granted the paradigm that there is a, millions of galaxies, and this whole thing goes on forever, it would, within a biblical worldview, would make sense that we are the one exception. It would, but I
I
doubt
don't
it's that
endorse that
big.
view.
I doubt it. Yeah, I agree. I doubt it's that
Yeah,
big of a.
Look, this is the only show I've ever been a part of as a guest or whatever, where we can
Yeah.
do a 2 hour show of great shit,
Yeah.
and then all
And
of a
then just
sudden
go
at
off the rails
fucking
right at the
final
end.
minute, just like you fucking round earth believing fag.
Ball tard. JB's being a ball tard right now, dude. I bet this guy believes in nuclear weapons.
The only nuclear
no
weapons I
shit.
believe in are when I fart and fuck, pal. Those are my
Hey
nuclear
now.
weapons.
Hey
That's
now.
right. That's right. We're nuclear deniers on this show, baby. Although, actually, I do have a bulletproof defense against the existence of nuclear weapons. Because, I mean, there has to be some. I mean, they say we drop bombs on the Japanese, right? Nuclear bombs.
Mm.
Well, there's something had to make them look like that.
Got him. Sorry.
All right. Anyway, that's all I really
Sorry.
wanted to say. I think I
Even
covered all
legal.
the things as Council for National Policy. I covered the Jews for Jesus.
That was a big
I
thing right there.
covered
Really glad you.
Schofield. Yeah, I think we got everything under our purview. But JB, anything you want
The
to promote to
CNP
the
is a
peeps?
very
You
big
got anything
thing.
you want anybody to see now that you're in your new home base?
No, I've got a. I actually did get with my friend Nadia Kotis, and we finally, after 15 years, we recorded a tribute to my late friend Pete Steele from Typo Negative and Carnivore.
Nice.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's a cover of "The
Hell
Dream Is
yeah.
Dead." It's just piano and cello, and the two of us singing. That's just now dropping on all the download
iTunes,
sites and
Spotify.
whatnot, and we're doing a music video for it in the next week. And so
What would the
Nice.
album be called? Is it an
no, it's not.
album
It's
or?
just the single. It's just going to be
Okay.
a one song tribute.
What's
And
it
then,
called, if I may ask?
it's JB Beverley and Nadia Kotis. She's Russian. It's me and her doing the Typo Negative song "The Dream Is Dead."
The Dream Is Dead.
And also, you can get all of JB's music on iTunes and all those CD Baby. I'm assuming.
God, I haven't gotten it. I don't. My shit was on there. I don't know if it's. I don't. It's funny, dude. It's funny. I found a box. Speaking of CDs, I found a box of CDs of my second album. Right. I had it in my truck, and I was brokering a deal for a horse the other day. This is just the other day, and the lady's like, "Oh, she's like our age, It's like, a box of CDs. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You got a CD player?" So I'll give you one. She goes, "I don't think I've seen a CD player in 10 years."
I got one in my car still.
I wish I still had
Yeah,
one in my car.
you're just gonna ride that till the wheels fall off, ain't you?
It's
Hell
not
yeah,
that
brother.
not that old of a car. It's a 2020.
Okay, that's not bad.
I got a B-52 CD in there.
I'm in the 96 Expedition that still has a tape in it, but
Hey Scott, do
that
you
doesn't work.
ever do like closeout music?
Oh yeah.
I do. Yeah, you want to pop one of your songs in?
No.
Hell
But I
yeah.
think Blondie's "The Rapture" would be the
I
perfect.
can't do real songs anymore. I got bitch smacked about it. So I've been using AI songs for the outros.
The Hebrews that be.
Well, you should create an AI song called "The Phlegm People."
Let it be done. There will be one called the Phlegm People this Sunday.
Oh,
now,
shit.
I will hang on. Let me do
Oh.
the plugs, and then I'll do like a hit the post on the Phlegm People in a minute, as they say in the radio biz. Yeah, so www.historyhomos.com for the RSS feed. We're also available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Rockfin, and most importantly, check us out over at historyhomospod.substack.com. Currently 40th on the rising chart on Substack for the history category on Substack. Please join us over there. If you like the show and you want 100% more of the show, go to historyhomospod.substack.com. You get not one episode, but 2 episodes a week, all on there. And it's not just us going, hey, what happened this week? Geez, I stubbed my toe, said the N-word. Although maybe I will say that, but no, we do full research and all kinds of good stuff. So please come over there and help support the show, and I would be so appreciative and help us make even more content like this. So, and at time of recording, still the friendliest place on the internet, History Homos group chat on Telegram. t.me/historyhomos is the channel. t.me/historyhomos chat is the chat. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you'd like to buy a History Homos t-shirt, you can email me your size and address at historyhomos@gmail.com.
Dude, I want a fucking History Homo shirt. Not to cut
It's
you
done.
off.
I'll send it to you
this
tomorrow.
man a shirt.
Fuck
Get
yeah,
it.
I'll promote the fuck out of that, dude. Are you kidding?
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I will absolutely
The
send you a
only
shirt.
time I'd ever have the word homo across my chest, and I do it proudly.
It's got Uncle Ted on the back, too. Kaczynski.
Uncle Ted?
Wait, you're not a big Ted K fan?
Uncle Ted?
Yeah.
To me, Uncle Ted's Nugent. Who are you talking
Well,
about?
there's 2 Uncle
yeah.
Teds. There's Uncle Ted Nugent and there's Uncle Ted Kaczynski, too.
Oh, okay. I'm fans of both.
Yeah, all right, good. Well,
That's
then you'll be
so
repping
I
Uncle
was hoping
Ted.
you were going to say Uncle Addy, but you know.
No, Uncle A, but maybe that's the next line of shirts. But okay. So die with dignity. Patrick, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I do. Motherfucker. Shit. Sorry.
Jeez.
Yeah, I want to quote a good old-fashioned joke that I heard from a fella on the Instagram, the IG, called accidental Talmudist.
Is that the joke?
So
No, that's the handle.
that's
I know.
the
I
that's
was
the
being
sec
funny, Scott.
Oh, wait, save the funny for this now. Now, this is a totally self-aware joke that a openly
Openly Jewish.
Hebraic individual
Openly phlegm
tell
person?
openly Flemish
Openly
person.
phlegmy? Phlegmic.
He's from Flanders.
This is a Flemish individual who told me this joke. He told this to me on the internet.
Blow a fucking blood vessel. Jesus.
He said, so there's a very successful Jewish businessman. His name is Herschel. And he's very successful. He goes to England. He goes to Savile Row. No relation. He goes to Savile Row. He wants to get himself a big, fancy Englishman's suit. A nice, what do they call it, Scott? A fag suit. What? Sorry. And
Tell the
so
joke.
he
You're
gets
ruining
all,
the timing of the
I'm
joke by
sorry.
asking me for details.
I know. I suck. But he gets all dolled up. He gets dialed out to the nines, and he starts crying in the tailor shop in the mirror. The tailor goes, "Why are you crying, Herschel?" He's dressed up like a English gentleman. He's crying. He goes, "I can't believe we lost India." Oh.
You missed the part where the tailor says, "Oh, Herschel, you look like a proper English gentleman."
Yeah.
And then he starts crying, and then he goes, "What's wrong, Herschel?" And then
I
he
might
says,
have to
I-
redeem that delivery with a
I
better.
wasn't trying. I dragged that out way too long.
You guys want to hear? Hey, look,
Sorry.
if I can get away with a long-winded joke, but you want to hear my favorite fucking long-winded
"Please
joke?
hit me with a good one.
Yes.
Please redeem this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I'm asking you in the audience to
Make
bear
this
with me,
motherfucker a
because
Google Play fucking gift card and redeem
all right,
him."
get ready, get ready. You got a compulsive gambler. Compulsive gambler gets a letter from the IRS one day that says they're going to audit him. They want to have a meeting. So he does what any responsible taxpayer does. He hires a good Jewish accountant. And he goes, oh, excuse me, not accountant. Well, he had one of those. A good Jewish tax attorney.
Mhm.
And they drive to the IRS office together. And two men go in and sit down, and the tax man says, look, you got money coming in, money going out, multiple accounts. What's the fucking deal? Guy says, I'm a compulsive gambler, man. He goes, I bet on a whim. He goes, I bet anybody, any place, anytime. He says, what do you mean? He goes, he goes, look, man, I get an elevator with you. By the time we were at the 6th floor, I've milked you for a couple $100, if not a couple grand. Taxman says, give me an example. He says, okay. He goes, I'll bet you right now. He says, he goes, I bet you $5,000 I can bite my eyeball. Taxman goes, you're on. Guy pulls out a glass eye, sticks it between his teeth. Taxman goes, oh, you son of a bitch. The guy says, listen, that's not really fair. He goes, here we go. He goes, double or nothing. So I can bite my other eyeball. And now the taxman's thinking, he's like, okay, this guy didn't come in here with a seeing eye dog or a cane. He says, okay, you're on. Guy pulls out his false fucking teeth and gently bites his good eye. Taxman goes, okay, you're one of them, you fucking motherfucker. This gambler says, listen, I ain't exactly been fair with you. He goes, I'll give you a chance to win your 10 grand back. He says, and then some. He says, I'll bet you $20,000 I can stand in the corner of your office and piss into your waste paper basket without spilling a drop. Now, the taxman's, he's a man. He knows even the guy with the best aim is going to lose a drop coming and going. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way
True.
you can fucking piss across the room into a small receptacle and not spill a drop of urine, right? So he goes, all right, you're on. The fucking gambler pulls his cock out and starts pissing all over the guy's office, man. I mean, over the fucking drapes on his goddamn desk, pisses on everything but him directly. Taxman jumps up and goes, I knew it, motherfucker. Pay up $20,000. Woo! He looks over at the fucking tax attorney. He's burying his head in his hands in shame. And he goes, what the fuck's gotten into you? And he goes, on the way over here, this son of a bitch bets me $120,000. He could piss all over your office and you'd be happy about it. That's pretty good, right?
I love that joke.
Right now.
Oh, and here's a short and sweet one. You know why all Jewish? Do you know the real reason Jewish men get circumcised?
They wanted a quarter off.
Well, no, because no Jewish woman will touch nothing that ain't at least 10% off.
Well, there you go.
But yeah,
Oh
that
boy,
gambler joke's funny as shit. It's long.
I love that joke. Anyway, so coming in at number 1, the new song from the Schwitzers, the Phlegm people.
O Israel, the Lord has called you. Through the ages you've stood strong. From Abraham to Jacob's children, your covenant has never gone. Through the deserts, through the exile, still his word has kept you near. Signs of promise, shine before us as the trumpet call draws near. We stand with Zion, we lift our hands, the holy city, the promised land. For in your rising, the nations see, the King of glory soon will be. Oh, we watch the sky with yearning flame, longing rapture in Jesus' name. Till he returns, we'll sing again. Bless Israel, forever amen. The people of the Phlegm enduring, read the nation's voice of old, carried forth through trial and triumph, living witness prophets told. From the watchers on the ramparts to the faithful at the wall, we behold the Lord's salvation coming swift